So today our lab here, FHRP, in that will configure here the HSRP, Hard Standby Routing Protocol. So then we'll discuss about the VRR later on. Then we'll move forward. Theoretically, we'll discuss more about GLB APIs. Fine. So first of all, so I have taken two routers. So as we discussed yesterday, in HSRP, we have a three modes of routers. One is active router. First one is active router, and then it will be standby. Second router is standby. Then one more is listening router. So first you can believe for first it will be check the priority. Priority is by default every router having the 100. So tiebreaker is highest IP address. So priority is matched, then we need a tiebreaker. Tiebreaker is here highest IP address. So if here in this two scenario, in these two routers, 192 dot in this LAN interface we should have to check where we are configuring, and that router will be elected as a tiebreaker IP address. So whichever the way we are configuring here interface level. So configuration mode. After then we have an interface mode. In that interface mode, we are configuring the HSRP protocol, not in global configuration mode. So in this interface mode, we have a two IP addresses: 192.168.10.1 and 192.168.10.2. So in this, whichever the highest IP address, that will be elected as a active router, and whichever the least IP address, that will be elected as a standby router. In these two IP addresses, we have a highest IP address, this one. So it will be elected as a active router, and this will be elected as a standby router. So again, whenever you are configuring the HSRP, if you configure entire thing within a 10 second, the election will be happen. Within a 10 seconds, the within a 10-second election will be done. If you configure more than this, more than 10 seconds, so if 20 seconds something is there, in that election will be already done. So it won't elect again. So you should have to configure. So once the router will be shut down, if in case, if this is the active router, it will be elected based on the, this router is down. That is the reason it will be elected active router. It will be election done again. It will be elect as an active router. Once it will be come to the active router, it won't go back to standby because it will be router come back to up also. It won't it won't take the roll back because this router having the highest by default priority also and highest sorry, this not this router. So highest IP address is this one. So if preemption is enabled, then it will be back to this router. We'll discuss more on preemption. Don't confuse it. But uh, election criteria will done within a 10 seconds. That is what. So now, anyway, just I'll remove the yesterday configuration, HSRP, and from scratch to we'll discuss. Fine. So here I have configured the yesterday configuration. We'll check first uh, from ISP router to we'll verify the configuration. Any changes occurred. So running configurations. So step by step we'll check. And in this we created one virtual interface, that is loop back interface. So that is 8.8.8.8 because we assuming like here this is a Google IP address. So that is the reason we have created. So our final achieve goal is here we should have to ping this IP address through host. This host should have to ping this IP addresses. That is the reason I have configured. So one more, just like if you want to configure something, virtual interfaces like interface loop back one and give the IP address for that 1.1.1.1 and subnet mask 255.255.255.0 like this. No, not required for notion. This is the way we can configure. So running configuration we can verify. So just now I have created one more loop back interface like this. It's easy to configure it, no issue. So again, as you know, I believe you know the how to configure the fast Ethernet 0 by 1 physical interfaces. This is a physical interface 0 by 0. This is what interface, and you can assume this is a router one connectivity through router one, and this is a through router two connectivity fast Ethernet 0 by 2, and we configure default route same in configuration mode just to give like this. Why we configure default route? Because we need a reachability from host to Google. So that is the reason. It means we don't know the Google IP address. That is the reason we configured. We don't know destination IP address. That is the reason I have configured 0.0.0. And next hop IP address is 11.1.1.2. 11.1.1.1 for this router because this is the next hope IP address him. This is the next hope IP address for him, and this is the next hope IP address for him. If you are configuring from this router default route, so next hope IP address is this one. This one. This should you have to configure. So that is that. Don't confuse. Tomorrow onwards we start. We are starting the routing. So there you will clear it. These things. Okay, fine. Now time being. Leave for that. And this is the route configuration of our ISP router, but much only. And I have changed the host name. That is what. Only host name I have changed. Nothing more. So now move to the second router. Router one. This is a router and enable to running configuration. Yesterday I have configured at interface level the virtual IP addresses. It's a standby router. So I am removing now. So apart from that, nothing is there. Only interfaces I have configured and one more default route I have configured towards ISP. So config I'm removing the standby router information. So later on we'll discuss step by step. So no standby one and IP here 192.168.10.5. Just I'm removing yesterday's configuration. Here also same. So the running configuration and later on I'll remove these things only with one command. 150 interface fast Ethernet 0 by 1. It's a LAN interface actually, and no standby 10. That's my only. So running configurations we can verify nothing is there. Okay, great. So now we'll start HSRP discussion. So basically, what is HSRP? Hard Standby Redundancy Protocol. Before that, as we discussed, high availability, gateway high availability or FHRP, you can call it first hop redundancy protocol. So it is a gateway redundancy protocol. So what does it mean? Here we have a three types again. First of all, what is the requirement of FHRP? If yesterday anyone is, please listen properly. I'll overview about it. Just 2 minutes. So basically, what is gateway? What is gateway? Where we are configuring in this gateway? What is gateway actually? Gateway is a process to exit or entry point of different network. With gateway only it will be possible. It's kind of LAN network. It's kind of LAN prefixes. With the help of gateway, we can reach the different locations also, at a different internet wherever. It is kind of exit and entry point of your network and different network. It is kind of exit entry from if you want to exit from your network to other network, gateway required. Someone are entering your network, so gateway is required. So gateway, it means it is an exit and entry point of your network or different network. Fine. Now, what is the role of here? Virtual gateway. So gateway, if you are configuring, so here we have it's a physical interface. So we must and should have to give every physical interface. We need to give the IP address. You can check here the fast Ethernet 0 by 1 IP address as a gateway for the LAN networks. That is the network I have configured yesterday 192.168.10.1. And one more thing here 192.168.10.2. Okay, I have configured this is the physical interfaces. And here I have configured like it's a host IP address and this is the subnet mask of this host and I have given the gateway of this is the virtual interface and one more PC I have configured here. This is the gateway of this interface. So if this user, Alim wants to communicate, this user wants to communicate. This user one wants to communicate internet. So he will use this part. If he wants to communicate internet, then he will use this is the part. Because of here I have configured the gateways two for this him. And here I have configured the gateways this router. So that is the reason they are selecting the path likewise. Now, if some issues came, this interface, this router, this LAN, this WAN goes down. Anything is goes down. Like some cases, some rat came, this he bite rat bite this cable, then cable issue, physical cable issue. Otherwise, CPU power issue is came. So this router gone. So this is the issue. If he try to communicate internet, now everything is working fine. Now if you want to ping, yes, you can ping minus t continuous ping 8.8.8.8. If he wants to try to ping Google, yes, he can able to ping. Wait, yes, some packet drops is there. Don't worry about it because here we configure as a default gateway. So that time it will be happen. So he can able to reach Google perfectly. Now what happened if this link is goes down? How he is communicating? We'll trace that also. Trace RT. 192.168. So we are trying to trace 188.8.8.8. So use gateway. This is the IP address, and it is the destination. From source to destination, he reached the gateway. Use this IP address. Now you can try to this PC to just trace RT and 192.168.10.8.8.8. She's using the gateways 192.168.10.2 because we have configured the gateways that IP address only, router to IP address. So you can verify also. And we'll try to ping continuous ping. Ping, both routers will try to continuous ping on these routers. Ping a continuous ping minus t 8.8.8.8. Okay, we'll run continuous ping on this route, this PC2 and PC1 also. Continuous ping, yes. Now what I will do, I'll shut down this interface. Before that, I will shut down this interface. Now no standby router. Yesterday I have configured. Now we can verify. No HSRP is working here. No HSRP is working here. Now I'll shut down this interface. Which interface? LAN interface. 150 interface for Ethernet 0 by 1. Just shut down. So goes down. The port it goes down. Yes, the packet drops happened. So this user cannot able to reach Google because the interface is gone. So this kind of issues we should have to face, will face in real time. So how we'll troubleshoot this kind of issues? So we have a protocol that is FHRP. Through this FHRP, will configure virtual gateway. So here the gateway is this IP address. The gateway is, you can check, this is the IP address of gateway. This is the IP address of 192.168.10.1. That is a gateway. That is the reason he's facing the issue because he is not facing the issue. PC2 is not facing any issues because he can able to perfectly ping the routers. Some packet drops is there because here we configure as a default route. It will be this kind of issues will face in address whenever you configure the default. Don't worry about it. In real time, it won't happen like this. Even though we'll not use in default route on these routers. Which routers? In these routers, we'll not use. If you can use in your LAN networks default route, okay. Whenever you don't know the routes, you will use on this in up to our edge router, we can able to use no issue. But in we can the ISP routers, they will not use default route. They will use ISIS protocols, something routing protocols. Okay, fine. That is a different thing. We'll discuss later on. So this kind of issues, how we'll troubleshoot it. Then I'll configure. Before that, I'll use no shutdown. So the port is came up again. You can able to ping properly. Once the STP is came back to up, enable so span tree. Once this port pass Ethernet 0 by 1 come to forwarding, he can able to reach perfectly till he should have to. So that is the reason we will use here uplink fast and backbone fast, those features. So anyway, leave that. So now you can check. So he can here you can check the he can able to reach. The port came up back to up. So if I want to reduce this kind of issues, so I'll use one protocol that is HSRP or VRRP. And HSRP is a Cisco proprietary and VRRP is a open standard protocol. And VRRP we can configure if you want to configure in Cisco routers, VRRP, virtual router redundancy protocol, you can configure it both Cisco also, non-Cisco also. But HSRP, you should have to configure in Cisco only. HSRP will not support non-Cisco devices. So how will configure? Standby. So as we discussed, we'll configure as a virtual IP address is 192.168.10.5. So virtual and give any group number up to 024095. And this is the version 2. Actually, HSRP having two versions. In that version 1, it's not support much more. It will be support 2016 something. And but here it will be support 4095. With this group number, how many you can create if you have in your LAN network? Basically, we'll configure at interface level. If you want to configure the load balancing also, yesterday we discussed it. If you want to use load balancing on HSRP, yes, it is possible through VLAN. So, how many groups you are creating? Yes, you can create. That many active routers are available. For one group, it will be active router. Other group, it will be standby router. Another group, it will be listening router also. So, how many you require? That many you can create. Just I'm creating check. So here you can check. Otherwise, I'll use 11. But whichever the group you are using, both ends should match. Otherwise, it will be moved to the other group. And IP. and give the virtual IP address here 192.168.10.5. Within a 10 second, I should have to configure. Otherwise, the active router will elect this router only. So I haven't entered till before. I need to configure here also config the and interface fast Ethernet 0 by 1. You can verify yesterday lab. This is the router is active router and interface fast Ethernet interface already done. Standby 10 group number is must match and IP and 192.168.10.5.
Maybe it's 11, I think,
And
Salim, not 10.
great, great job. Okay, I have entered here and I'll enter within a 10 seconds. Okay, we'll wait for 10 seconds. You can check the log will be originated here. One log will be originated. Which router is active, which router is standby. You can verify. This is the routers. So router 1 and this is the router 2. See, here this telling group number 11 state is speak to it went standby and it went active. So here you can check it went to first it went to speak to standby and standby to active and speak to standby. It means it is planning to I am the owner, I am the active router, but he cannot because of highest IP address. If you want, do show standby. Here you can verify. Yesterday lab is different. Within a 10 second, if you are configuring successfully, then you can achieve your whichever you are planning to do. So based on the IP address, it has elected as a router as an active router. This router as a standby. Do show standby. This is a standby router. We'll discuss states. Just give me a whole your patience. Just we'll discuss the states also. And because yesterday you saw the group number here B, A. Yesterday I told you one if you configure group number one, then one it will show. Two means 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Up to 9 it will show 9. After then it will move to the hexadecimal. 10 means A, 11 means B. Likewise, 12 means C, 13 means D, E. Likewise, F. Likewise, it will be more up to 15. So fine, this is what, and we'll discuss step by step here. States will discuss later on. First, so virtual IP address is here, this one, which we configure. Here also you can verify virtual IP address is 192.168.10.5. Yesterday, sorry, just now I have configured, this is the what, if I shut down this also, the gateway is still using. I haven't changed. I'll use this router. PC3. I'll configure 192.168.10.30 and the gateway I'll use here 5. Now I'll shut down. Before that, I'll trace at the Google and after then I'll do to ping 192.8.8. Yes, we can able to reach. Through which router? Through which router we can able to reach our source to destination. First we will check. So first we will check trace RT 8.8.8.8. So through 192.168.10.2. So through this IP address because this is the active router. Through because we are moving our packets like this. We are moving our packets like this. If I will shut down this interface, if I will shut down this interface, what will happen? This router will become as active or not. You can assume. If I will shut down this interface, I will shut down this interface, this router will become as active or not. No, this router state is standby. So for that, we have to know we have a here option preemption by default is disabled. What happen whenever the LAN interfaces are down? One more thing. Preemption is disabled in GLBP and HSRP routers. HSRP protocols. Preemption is disabled. Preemption is disabled. Here you can check in this HSRP and GLBP. These are the Cisco proprietary, but it will be enabled it will be active in VRRP. Don't forget that. The main difference are preemption is disabled in a HSRP protocol and GLBP protocol. What are the difference? If someone asks you interviewer, what are the main difference in HSRP VRRP? Preemption is disabled in HSRP by default, and we by default enabled in VRRP. That is what. So if you are not enabling the preemption, this router won't back to active router. If you want, you can check. I'll just no shutdown. I'll use here no shutdown. No shutdown command. So shutdown, yes. Shutdown. Just I have shut down this interface. Before that, you can check here. You can check here. Do show standby. Interface is went to init state. Anyway, we'll discuss what are the states. Init state. The interface is init state. It went to init state. This router is now to show standby. This router become as a active router. Pin 8.8.8.8. Now we can able to reach our destination through which router. We can check here. Trace. So you can check. Earlier it was a 192.168.10.2. Now its router is 192.168.10.1. So 192.168.10.2. Earlier, this is the gateway. We can able to reach our destination. Now the interface is down. This interface is down. This interface is down. So it is using now this path. If you want to try to continue, we'll do the continuous thing now. I'll show you something. Continuous thing. Multi thing minus P and 8.8.8.8. If I will use again no shutdown command, before that we'll check which one is the active router. Do show standby. Here you can check. This router is now active. Now this router is active, having the priority also 100 and less interface IP address is 192.168.10.1 compared to less IP address compared to this less. If I will no shutdown, use no shutdown command here, this router will take a rollback. This router will be take a rollback. If I use here no shut command, then this router should have to come which state? Active state. Because if you want to increase priority also, you can increase whatever in real time we can increase. How we'll increase the priority? I'll show you. Once I'll increase the priority for anything, this router will take a rollback or not. Just think about it. It will be take a rollback or not. Give any random answer. Guys, give any random answer. It will be take a rollback or not. Yes or no? Quickly. It will take rollback to active. Now this router is standby. You can check this router is standby. Even though it is not showing also, active router is unknown, standby router is unknown. This router is not in even though state also. Because of, so I'll use no shutdown also. If you Continuous ping also you can check here, and the port came back to up also you can check this port. The port also green. Now he should have to come back to active. Do show standby. Not taken rollback. Not taken rollback till speaking state. Now came back to active. Now came back to active. Now continuous thing also happened. So this is that is what true, but something missing here. Do show history. If you are not enabling the preemption, so it won't work likewise. It won't work not likewise. It won't work. If you want, you can verify it yourself also. If here preemption should have to enable. Do show history. That is what yeah, in this packet result, this kind of issues will be happening. But I should have to show you something. Preemption is should have to enable here. So how we will enable? Standby and give the group number and preemption. Preemption, print. Likewise, we have to enable both end. If enabled one side also no issue. Standby 11 and preemption enabled. Okay, LAN interface, it went down. We have a preemption option. If WAN interfaces are down, if this kind of WAN interfaces are down, then what is the issue? If LAN interfaces are down, we have a preemption. It will be take a rollback. If WAN interface, this interface goes down, this interface goes down, then what is the issue? So if you want, you can check. So now this router is through which race. So now again it will be take a rollback. This is the 190 this gateway is using. Now I will shut down the LAN interface. Config T and interface first Ethernet 0 by 0 and shutdown. I'll use shutdown. And now you can check the WAN interface is down. You can continuous ping or ping. Now you can check the up to here event, though after then packet is not moving forward. So because he has taken that interface. So ping 8.8.8.8. For that, it is destination is unreachable. For the WAN interfaces went down, we have a one more option that is tracker. Tracker. So exit from here and move interface fast Ethernet 0 by 1 and use standby 11 and track. It is a LSA thing, right? And fast Ethernet 0 by 0 WAN interface. So you can check now it should have to ping. Now you can check. Here we have a tracker option. If WAN interfaces are down, these routers are don't know. That is the reason it will be decrement by default priority of 10. Do show standby. You can check do show standby. So it will be decrement if whichever the priority is there in that it will be decrement of 10. So now it will be moved to the standby router. So earlier it was an active router, continuously ping was happen. Now I have shut down the WAN interface. That is the reason. Again it went back to the standby router, and because of it will be decrement priority 10. Now this router has now you can check do show standby. So once the video will go down, 1 minute only left. Again rejoin the session. This router is active now. You can verify. Earlier, this router is no, I haven't checked, but this router is now active router. By default, it has a priority is 100, and the neighbor router, standby router having the priority is here. You can check 192.168.10.2. I haven't changed any priority here, but it is showing here 90. It means We are using here tracker command. Track. Through track command, if WAN interfaces are down, we can verify it. This is what the HSRP entire configuration. So if LAN interfaces are down, we have a preemption option, and if WAN interfaces are down, we have a tracker option. So LAN interfaces for preemption, WAN interfaces for uh, tracker. We'll discuss more on this. Just rejoin the session.